there was a study that Masters and Johnson did in the 70s that doesn't get a lot of publicity. Everybody's familiar with their big project in human sexual response in the 50s. Everybody, I mean, people know that they did that. But they did this interesting study where they looked at gay and straight couples, some actually not just short term, but they paired them up. So it was people having sex for the first time, and then there was long-term committed partners, both gay and straight. And they looked at this was the only study I came across that was really a qualitative look at sex, like who's having better sex and why. And in fact, the best sex was being had by long-term committed homosexual partners. Two things going on. One was that there's something called gender empathy, which is if you have the same equipment, you kind of know intuitively what feels good. And in the 70s, this was done in the 70s, and the heterosexual couples were tending to do things to their partner that they would want done to themselves, which didn't always play well. And there was also sort of a mechanical element of like, well, if I twiddle this for about 10 minutes, that should be good for her, you know, and they weren't really getting into the moment, and they weren't really sort of watching their partner and sort of they weren't losing themselves in the experience and being turned on by their partner's response. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in good, really great sex that it makes it very different from efficient sex. And so the straight partners, and this was the 70s, you know, I think things have come a ways since then, but the hetero partners tended to be a little more mechanical and a little more just like, well, yes, we've both had an orgasm, so that was good sex, whereas the long-term partners were, particularly the gay ones, but also among the straight partners, they were you know, that's where you found the really amazing, where somebody would sort of, you know, draw it out and be aware of exactly what stage their partner was at in their arousal and that kind of thing. But to answer your question, yes, that's the only study that I came across that actually did draw that conclusion.